I can't read you. You're like a sphinx. Yes, this quote from Iron Man 2, brought to you by me. So, came across a box that said artifacts on it. Lo and behold, it's artifacts. Amazing how that works out, ain't it? Going through this stuff, noticing as you look over it, all sorts of crazy things happen over the years. For instance, converting from colorless to colored mana becomes more efficient. Generating mana becomes less efficient. I mean, you go from the original core set Sol Ring, which is a colorless and taps for 2 colorless. I mean, hey, look at that. Net profit of 1 mana on the turn you play it. And Mana Vault, Assault Monolith, stuff like that. And then you go up to like Mirage, where you, technically it's Visions, where you get put that right there for now. Go into Visions, where you get Sisei's Ring, 4 colorless and taps for 2. Same effect as a Sol Ring, quadruple the casting cost. You get half as much mana back. Then in Urza's Saga, you get Worn Power Stone, which is 3 colors and comes into play tapped, and taps for 2 mana. And so, yeah, I mean, they've slowly learned over the years that being able to generate a lot of mana is, how can I put it? It makes for degenerate and very fast games. And of course, they learned this lesson by the time they made Urza's Saga, which makes you wonder why the hell they printed Tolarian Academy. And I said this on the message boards on Wizards before, when relatively recently, when it became a topic of discussion, and I'm like, great idea, horrible execution. I mean, if they were to print something like Tolarian Academy today, I think a balanced way to do it would, number 1, still make it a legendary land. Number 2, have it tap for colorless. Number 3, on Metalcraft, have it tap for blue. You know? But, that would be a nice thing to see, you know? Just something on metal, land that tapped for mana, that on Metalcraft tapped for more. But, hey, you know, I can't really blame them at this point for being really scared of stuff like that. That, and of course, it's going to be a long time, I suspect, till we see Metalcraft again. I mean, once New Phyrexia hits the shelves, that's going to be the last expansion we're probably going to see Metalcraft in for a couple of years, if we ever see it again. I mean, there are plenty of abilities that we never expect to see again. For the most part, it's a good thing. Like Rampage was not the most intuitive ability in the world. Banding, there were tournament players who frequently had to have the banding rules explained to them. And I mean, once you memorized what banding did, it wasn't so bad, but a lot of people didn't bother with it, especially seeing as how it largely only occurred on a handful of really low power white cards, 1, maybe 2 green cards. It was on Timberwolf and I think Direwolves from Ice Age. It was on 1 red card, which was never available in booster packs, the Nalathni Dragon, which was really ho-hum. It was 4 mana for a 1/1 flying banding with fire breathing. Oh, jeez. I mean, but, you know, there's things we don't really expect to see back, things we do expect to see back. I mean, flanking, I mean, outside of Time Spiral block, outside of a Time Spiral kind of theme, I don't expect to ever see flanking again. For that matter, I was surprised to see flanking in Time Spiral. Oh well. Yeah, I'm babbling. I don't really have a hell of a lot to say today, other than the fact, of course, is to reference the little teaser video they have for New Phyrexia. Karn is coming. They're probably going to make a Planeswalker for him. He's already a legendary artifact creature. pretty sure they also have a Vanguard card for him. Oh, holy crap, it's snowing. It's been snowing since sometime early this afternoon. It's now sometime in the evening. I don't have my watch handy or my phone. It's kind of a funny mark on society how we actually tell time from our phones more often than anything else. But, oh well. Oh, here's another thing. Tormod's Crypt. That's the original dark printing of it. It was reprinted in Chronicles. I think it might have found its way into a base set, 5th, maybe 6th edition after that. I'm not 100% certain off the top of my head. It's one of those cards that also demonstrates how certain spells and effects radically change power levels over the course of the game's life. Because, you know, it was printed, it was tap and sacrifice to remove, basically it's tap, sacrifice, exile all cards into a player's graveyard. Target players. It does target the player. But at the time, it was an alright effect. It wasn't great, it was alright. If that had been in print during Odyssey Block, when there were all sorts of graveyard shenanigans going on, oh boy. I mean, Weatherlight had graveyard shenanigans going on, and that it wasn't printed at the time. It was in Chronicles. I believe the base set at the time was still 4th. I'm not 100% certain at this point, though. But yeah, it is what it is. And but Odyssey Block, you know, you had the threshold mechanic, you had the flashback mechanic, you had all the black ATOGs. There were 3 of them. The 3 black ATOGs would were there 3 of them? No, wait, 2. I'm sorry. Black, red, and black, blue. The Psychotog and the black, blue ones. One of those a Phantasmatog or something crazy like that. I don't remember. But basically, no. Phantasm was blue-white. Blue-black was Psychotog. Black-red was... yeah, I don't even remember what the black-red one was. Oh well. Whatever. And yeah, the black Psychotogs, you exiled cards from your graveyard to make them big. So, I mean, yeah, that thing would have been like a horrible hoser back at the time, but it wasn't standard legal. These things happen. Oh well, I babbled a lot. Oh, here's something funky. I originally got this for back when I used to play Thallid decks a lot. I still do play them a lot, but I don't think I ever actually really used this. It's Sword of the Ages, Original Legends. Comes into play tapped. It's a 6-drop. You tap and sack it in any amount of creatures you control, and deals damage to target creature or player equal to the total power of creatures you controlled. You tap, sack, and exile it, and all the creatures. So it's not just sacrifice. You exile all these things. I'm looking at the text on this thing, and I'm like, that's the way they format the text has changed a lot over the years, mostly for clarity or to like put all the relevant information together. For instance, this is the very beginning of the description. It says you sacrifice, and then at the very end it says things sacrificed, creatures in sacrifice, and the sword itself are removed from game, which today is called exile. Oh boy, you know, sort of like I was looking over another card. I can't even remember what the heck it was, but you target a creature you control and a creature the opponent controls, and you flip a coin. If you win the flip, you destroy the opponent's creature. If you lose the flip, destroy your own creature unless you pay 3 colors to reflip the coin. Unfortunately, it doesn't say that reflipping the coin repeats the process. It just says reflip the coin. So I look at that and I'm like, you know, the way it's printed, someone could easily just take it out of context and get stupid with it. And we all know there are people out there who will do that. Right up there with, as I understand it, the original printing of Time Walk, before it actually saw print, the playtest version, said target player loses next turn, meaning your opponent doesn't get to take his next turn. He loses the turn. And then you take your own again. And then during playtest, someone busted it out and said, I win because you lose next turn. And they just looked at it, that's not how it works. It's what it says. So, yeah, silly shenanigans. Oh well. And before anyone calls shenanigans on how long this video is getting, I'm going to wrap it up.